Have you ever felt a strange sadness? Like you're grieving something you never even lived? There's a kind of pain that doesn't come from loss, but from possibilities that never got to exist. A silent grief. No goodbyes, no story, but it weighs on you like your soul remembers a home you never built.
I've seen a human heart live like this, drowning in versions of themselves that never came to be. It wasn't regret, it was deeper. Like inside this person, there was a house full of closed doors, and behind each door, a version of them that never saw the light. There was the door of the artist who was too scared to try. The door of the child who dreamed big until they learned to dream small. The door of the person who loved deeply but hid away to keep from getting hurt again. And the most painful door of all, the courage they never used.
Every time this person looked in the mirror, didn't see what they'd become. They saw the ghost of what they'd failed to be. And that's what hurts you, humans. It's not the life you lived. It's the one you let slip through your fingers.
You're experts at collecting almosts. Almost tried. Almost changed. Almost was happy. Almost lived what I felt. Almost became who I was. And each almost is a little death. A piece of your true self begging to exist and being silenced.
I, as a dog, learned early on something you forget. When one path ends, another begins right away. There's no void, no failure, just movement. But you learn to fear movement, and you end up trapped in a place that doesn't hold you and doesn't set you free.
One night, I stayed beside this person. They thought it was about something specific, but I felt it was something else. It was their soul saying, "Hey, you left me behind." Because the soul doesn't mourn what it lost. It mourns what you wouldn't let it become. And in that silence, I realized something precious. The grief for what we didn't live isn't punishment. It's a calling. A gentle ask, but urgent, to come back to yourself. You don't need to turn back time. You don't need to recover old doors. But you do need to open at least one new one. And that's what this person did. First, they grabbed an old journal that'd been sitting in a drawer for years. That journal they bought back when they still believed they could write. They sat down on the kitchen floor in the middle of the night, hand shaking, and wrote one sentence. Just one. It wasn't perfect. It wasn't brilliant, but it was theirs. And in that moment, a door creaked open. The tears came, not for the past, but for all the time they'd spent away from themselves. And look, that's beautiful. That's sacred. The cry that comes when you find yourself again, that's the only one that truly cleanses. The truth is simple. You're not grieving the life you didn't live. You're grieving the versions of yourself you left waiting. But here's what's magical. They're still there, patient, whole, alive,
waiting for you to open the door and say, "I'm sorry it took so long. I'm ready now." The past can't be lived again. But what you've stopped being can be recovered, can be reborn, can teach you. Because the grief of the life you didn't live is really the birth of the life you're finally going to live. You didn't waste time. You just grew until you were strong enough to carry who you've always been.
So, if today you feel that emptiness you can't explain, don't run from it. Sit with it. Look inside. Ask yourself, who did I leave behind? And do one small thing. A sentence in a journal. A call you've been putting off for months. 5 minutes with that dusty instrument. A walk alone, nowhere in particular. It doesn't have to be big. It just has to be real.
Because the life you didn't live is still calling your name. And this time, you're going to answer. Look at it, at that version of yourself that's been waiting so long, and say what it's always needed to hear. I see you. I miss you. Should we try again? I'm Lumi, and every week I come back here to remind you of who you've always been, because when you open the door, you never walk alone.